So how has your work at WMC impacted the manufacturing industry for Wisconsin?
Oh, I'd like to think that we've been successful in getting a few things done that help manufacturing. Now we're a hybrid organization. We're the State Chamber of Commerce, which means we represent every sector of the economy, but we're also the State Manufacturers Association. We were founded as the State Manufacturers Association 109 years ago in Milwaukee. And so we focus an awful lot on manufacturing. We recognize it's 20% of the Wisconsin economy, by far the largest industry sector. So really, Wisconsin's economy runs on manufacturing. And of course, it's the bedrock of the middle class. Manufacturing is doing well, Wisconsin is doing well, and its people are doing well. The tax base is strong. All of those things really rely on manufacturing. So when we had Governor Walker in, he was very pro-manufacturing. We were able to get become the 25th right-to-work state. Obviously, that is important for a competitive Wisconsin. I frankly never thought I'd see a right-to-work Wisconsin. That's something that I personally am very proud of. And just off to my right, I think your left, would be the pen that Governor Walker used to sign. I actually don't have any other pens used to sign bills before, but I wanted that one, and I'm very proud to display it in my office. We also pushed, actually, the first year that Governor Walker was in office, the Manufacturers and Agriculture Production Tax Credit, which frankly is a game changer to make us very productive. So that took us from 7.8% corporate tax rate for manufacturers down to 0.4%, which essentially zeroes it out. And of course, we think it's a good deal for Wisconsin because it encourages production in Wisconsin, and that means more workers in Wisconsin, and manufacturing jobs pay about 40% above the median. So that's good for the tax base. That's good for community. That's good for the middle class.
Right, definitely. From conversations with our customers and a lot of reports we see that they're saying there's still a strong faith in manufacturing in Wisconsin. Do you agree with this? Do you feel the pandemic has changed that at all?
No, I don't think the pandemic has impacted that. I do think that there has been a growing trend over probably a generation where people believe that manufacturing is an industry of the past. I think that's very pervasive here in Madison, and we fight that all the time.
Yeah.
People don't understand that it's high tech, high skill, high pay. They think it's dumb, dirty, and dangerous. They don't understand what advanced manufacturing looks like, and we certainly encourage everyone to try and tour a manufacturing facility. This is why we do Manufacturing Month in October. We want young people in particular to see how advanced manufacturing is done in the United States. We want them to know that the United States is still the #1 manufacturer in the world, and we want them to know that Wisconsin's #1 business sector is manufacturing. If you ask somebody on the Capitol Square today, what's the #1 business sector, they'd probably say agriculture because we celebrate it so well. We don't celebrate manufacturing as much as we should, and manufacturers need to step up and make sure that they are promoting their industry. Another thing that we do to try and do that is we do the coolest thing made in Wisconsin. It's a silly little contest. It's just designed to gin up social media about what's made in the state, and we've had a lot of fun with it over the years. A joint light tactical vehicle made by Oshkosh Corporation won one year. Harley Davidson, their Milwaukee 8 engine, won it 1 year. A Henry rifle, which are made up in Rice Lake, and that was something, as the head of the Manufacturers Association, I didn't even know we made rifles in Rice Lake, Wisconsin. So that's also another reason why we do it, to educate people what's made in their own backyard so that they can feel a sense of local and statewide pride of what's made in Wisconsin, what's made in America.
Yeah, that's a great program. I was at the Wisconsin State Fair when you guys announced this year's winner at the show and that, and it was exciting, especially you saw how excited that company was to be promoted. That's great.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I'm glad you were there.
Yeah, that was great. So people are saying now, that manufacturers are going to start coming back to the States. And do you feel that this pandemic has kind of sped that process up a little bit where we're going to see more manufacturers stay here, and especially in Wisconsin?
Well, it's a good question. Frankly, I would advocate for a lot of manufacturing coming back from China in particular. I'm not saying it will. And frankly, that's not necessarily our role at WMC. We're advocates, largely at the state level, at the federal level to some extent. But I would like to see that as a proud American. I do think that China has not been the best partner for American manufacturers. You know,
Yeah.
the systemic theft of intellectual property, we know has been going on for years. The forced tech transfer in order to have access to markets, the currency manipulation. I mean, there's a
Yep.
variety of different things that the Chinese have done to show that they're not very good actors. And of course, you know, many of us are very upset with their manipulation of the World Health Organization during this
Yeah.
Wuhan COVID-19 virus. So I think China, their reputation is probably taking a bit of a hit. What they have going for them is they have our population with a 1 in front of it. So we're about 330 million Americans. They're
Hmm.
about 1.4 billion Chinese, and wealth and population is growing in Asia. So there's a variety of reasons why you might want to be located in China or at least in Asia, and that's because that's where the markets are. So we have to take a look at that. I think that I do think there's an opportunity to reshore,
Yeah.
but I don't think that people should automatically think that it's going to be that easy. One other point too, we also have trouble finding the workers for manufacturing here in the United States. That has
Right.
driven a lot of manufacturing offshore, probably more to Mexico than to China. And it's simply a matter of we can't find enough frontline workers, we can't find enough engineers. It's something that we're going to have to address in the future if we want manufacturing back.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. We've been working a lot more with our local high schools because it seems if you can get a kid that's a freshman or a sophomore and get him at least somewhat engaged, he can make a decision, do I like it or not? Because, you know, we used to work with the tech schools. By the time they're in tech school, they're already hooked. They
Right.
want to be in there. So it's been a good example. And I have a good example just in my family. My oldest is a senior in high school. He's going to Madison for engineering. He took to it. My youngest is a freshman, and he was like, Dad, I don't like working like with my hands. It's just not. And I'm like, how great is that at freshman level? He got to figure that out. So definitely seeing that. So that's good, you know?
Yeah, they are ahead of the curve. And again, that's why we do Manufacturing Month in October. And
Yeah, awesome.
we largely target grade schoolers and middle schoolers but we don't necessarily want, well, we don't mind high schoolers touring a manufacturing facility, but so many of them
Right.
have already decided what their career path is going to be. We
Yeah.
need to get people younger, and because it does speak to certain people. I'm not particularly good with my hands. I was a forklift operator in college, so I did have some manufacturing experience. But
Yeah.
you know, I'm not a natural engineer like my dad and my two grandfathers were.
Right.
But you know, my son is very good with his hands, and I think he could be an engineer, and he could have very well continue the family tradition in manufacturing.
Oh, that's awesome. Awesome.